The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Lisa with South Australia Tourism Commission. We're just going to give a couple more minutes here for those logging on this afternoon. So thank you for your patience and we will get started very shortly. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is Lisa with the South Australian Tourism Commission, and thank you for attending our webinar today highlighting a fantastic property out in the Flinders Ranges. I'm happy to welcome you and introduce you to Jason from Anthology Travel, who represents Wilpena Pound Resort and the new Ikara Safari Camp. How's it going, Jason?
Very well, and yourself?
Doing well, thanks. We appreciate you taking the time. Perhaps I know no one can really speak up at the moment, but we'd love to congratulate Jason. He just welcomed a newborn only a day or two ago, so he has his hands full now with a new lovely little girl. So congrats, Jason, and appreciate you joining us today to take us through what's new in the outback of the Flinders Ranges. So just as a reminder to everyone just about the format of today, Jason will take you through the presentation, but if you have any questions at any time, jot them into the chat box there on your main screen, and we're happy to address those at the end of his presentation. And also, today's webinar is being recorded, so we'll be posting that on YouTube for some fellow colleagues, or for those that couldn't join us today. You'll be able to view this at any time and reference some of those points that Jason will cover. So without further ado, I'll toss it over to Jason. Let me just give him controls of the screen here, and he will walk you through what's new at Wilpena Pound.
All right.
Perfect. Great.
Okay, you can see everything there?
All looks good.
Great. Well, hi everyone. As Lisa mentioned, my name is Jason Curtin. I'm the Director of Sales Marketing for Anthology Travel. I am basically highlighting, most of you will probably know Wilpena Pound in the Flinders Ranges, Wilpena Pound Resort. It's been there for about 40 years, and basically giving an update of what's going on down there, what's some of the new developments, and excuse me for my tired-sounding voice. I'm calling from the hospital, so as Lisa mentioned, we've just had our first baby girl. So, as you may know, we've Wilpena Pound Resort, the central logo. We have two other products down there, which is Air Wilpena, which is the scenic flight services, and Ikara Safari Camp, which is our new product offering down there, and I'll go through that as part of the presentation. So again, most of you will know where we are, but just to put it into a bit of perspective, South Australia is the southern middle part of Australia, and part of that is highlighting what's in South Australia. So Adelaide is obviously the capital city, and from the capital city we have the Flinders Ranges, which is the the Wilpena Pound is right in the centre of the Flinders Ranges, and it's about 300 miles from Adelaide, and it's an, oh. So getting to Wilpena Pound, as I said, most people will fly into the capital city of Adelaide if they're not self-driving around Australia. So from Adelaide, it's about 300 miles or 480 kilometres, give or take. We've recently put together a number of journeys. What you'll see is these 3 journeys highlight some of the best ways of getting there. So the wine journey, so the Barossa and Clare Valley are 2 of Australia's most well-known wine regions, and especially within South Australia. So travelling, if you look at the map along the green route, if you're hire a car or do self-drive throughout Australia or in a camper van or anything like that, they have the opportunity to do this route, which they can stop off at the Barossa, collect a nice bottle of Shiraz, drive on through to the Clare Valley, collect a nice bottle of Riesling or sparkling, and then move on through and see the outback regions of Jamestown and Nauru, and just get a little bit more of an understanding of the outback region. So the outback journey is sort of travelling right up the middle, the brown one, and that route highlights some of the towns like Melrose, which are cute little outback towns. And just as a note, all of these journeys can be done in a day or a multiple number of days. They're, just to make getting to Wilpena Pound as part of the experience, as much part of the experience as staying at Wilpena Pound. And then the other journey we recommend is the ports of South Australia. So travelling up via the ports and via the seaside, and which has had such a major part in the development of South Australia as a state and even Australia as a country. So and we generally recommend to do one route on the one journey on the way up and another one on the way back, so you get to see the most of what you can. So why even go to Wilpena Pound, being that it's so far away from Adelaide? Well, there's a number of reasons, and probably the main one is this large crater or geological structure called Wilpena Pound. It's 8 times the size of Uluru. It's 17 kilometres long, which I think is about 10 miles long, and 8 kilometres wide, which I think is about 5 miles wide. The walls are about 2 miles thick, and the pound is obviously in the middle of the outback. So one of the key features of it is it collects a lot of rain. So there's a lot of natural wildlife and natural biodiversity around the area. So it generates a lot of amazing scenery, and photography is a key thing in the area. So yeah, the wildlife is another key part of why you go there. It had all of this, or many of the key Australian animals, as well as the kangaroos and wallabies and emus, are all found at Wilpena Pound, along with a variety of bird life and all the other natural snakes and animals and anything that tickles your fancy when you if that's what they're after when they're on holiday. Exploring the region is a key one, because there's such a number of things to see. So there's from an artistic perspective, from a historical perspective, or just plain scenery, watching the sunset over the pound or the sunrise over the pound, looking for the different colours. And the area has a very significant historical and cultural significance. So the local Aboriginal and traditional inhabitant community think of the area as very significant in their culture. So it has a strong background with them that's been part of their culture and their storytelling for thousands and thousands of years. So, and it also has a good part of Australia's settlement history. So there's a lot of they used the pound initially for sheep herding and things like that, and then realised that it was a bit too hard, and so there's a lot of history that goes along with the area. So the resort, again, for those that know, it's been there for about 40 years. It consists of, it's a full resort. It has a restaurant and bar where guests can get their meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We actually run the visitor centre there, so there's all information on the local region, the tours, and what to do in the area. It's a full complex that has swimming pool and all of the rest of it. And we also run, there's a general store there, so if they come there and they need supplies, camping, there's a petrol station there as well. So we provide all of the services for the region within the national park there. Okay, so within the resort, so the traditional resort, there's basically 4 room types, 2 or 3 levels of accommodation. So the Brachnia and Aruna are the 2 smaller rooms, the standard rooms. They're sort of best suited for couples or you know, a small family with 1 child. All the rooms have been recently updated, so they've had new fixtures put in, new beds, some new tables and chairs, artwork and things like that, so they've had a bit of a touch-up. Most of them have been repainted, and although I suppose they've had a soft refurb in the fact that the bathrooms haven't been fully renovated. Put some new fixtures and fittings in, but that's about it. And then the Hyson and Ediawi rooms, so they're the larger rooms, not quite 1 bedroom in the fact that they don't have a separate door for the rooms, but they've you know, got more space definitely, and the Ediawi rooms are the ones that have a small kitchenette. So if anyone's thinking of self-catering, or if there's a group of 2 couples or a small family. So for the most part, what you will probably be interested in is what's new at Wilpena Pound, which is the luxury, or what we can sort of calling luxury safari camp, which is Ikara Safari Camp. It's Ikara because in the local traditional culture, that is what they call Wilpena Pound, and it actually means meeting place. So Ikara Safari Camp is the meeting place for our new product. Okay, so this is a bit of a map of Wilpena Pound. It's a little bit older, and it doesn't highlight where Ikara is, but I'll show you that in a moment. So the resort, as such, is here. You'll see highlighted. That covers the restaurant and restaurant bar, the reception, and all of the resort rooms for the traditional resort. Just to the up and to the right of where you see that highlighted area is where the general store and visitor centre is. And then Ikara is up in the top left-hand corner, you see highlighted up there. And you see just above that the peaks of Wilpena Pound. So Ikara is actually the closest to Wilpena Pound. It's located right up next to the Pound and yeah, you can literally walk straight out of the fence and into the entrance to the big Wilpena pound structure. Okay, so the safari tents. So the safari tents are designed to basically take the nature experience that you have throughout the day in Wilpena Pound and in the Flinders Ranges, not just Wilpena Pound, but the Flinders Ranges National Park. So you're out there, you're enjoying the wildlife and the scenery, and we didn't want you to have to go back to just a square box room. So we've designed the safari tents to be as open and as close to nature as possible. So when you come back, you continue that nature and wildlife experience, and you don't get separated from it. So all the tents have a full king split beds, so suitable for couples or 2 individuals. They've all got, if you look at the photo on the left-hand side, you'll see a little cabinet on the left of that. In there is a mini bar. There's also a safe. As you can see, it's got a table and chairs in there. If you look at the back of those, the tents are actually fully air conditioned. So the walls of the canvas of the tents are lined with a foil, which keeps. So for those that know, the Flinders Ranges can get quite hot during the summer and very, very cold during the winter. So this allows the tents inside the tents to maintain a comfortable temperature. So you can go out and spend the day exploring and not be too cold when you come back. So as mentioned before, it's glamping, which is, if you don't know, glamorous camping, and the new thing that many people are wanting to do. Allows them to go camping without losing the luxuries of everyday life. So the location of these safari tents, as I said, was right up near the pound. So as you can see, they are very much within nature. The tree line that you see in front of the deck of those, the safari tent, is literally the fence line into Wilpena Pound. And obviously for the women, the most important thing is, what does the bathroom look like? Well, obviously, as you can see, there's a fully tiled ensuite bathroom with a full stand-up shower, toilets, hot running water, fully powered. There's a hairdryer in there, and there's a small wardrobe as well. So there's all the facilities of a hotel room inside a tent. So there's 2 types of tents. There is, all in all, there's 15 safari tents, and 13 of those are the tents that you just saw, and 2 of them we have is these family safari tents, which, if you look at the picture on the left-hand side, it has a little annex to the side, and there's actually a bunk bed in that side annex, so you can sleep up to 4 people in that bunk bed. So the tents have been very, very well received by Australian media. We've just 2 weeks ago had a full double-page spread write-up on the safari tents and the experience that one of our journalists had. A full double-page write-up in the Australian Traveller weekend, which was worth about $90,000 worth of advertising space. So we're having a very, very good pickup from the media. We've had over 100 articles written on the tents in the last since we opened in February. So we think we might have hit the mark with what we need. And so moving on, the main tent. So the main tent is where we have, or where we serve dinner and breakfast. We also provide lunch and evening drinks around the campfire just in front of the main tent. So in the main tent is obviously tables and chairs and a little bar. There's deck out front of which they can sit down and have their drinks and socialise with the other people staying in the safari tent in the camp. And then there's also some lounges there where they can relax and read a book or do whatever they like if they're not so adventurous. So obviously there's as part of the experience, we need to offer a variety of different activities for those who do want to sit down and read a book and just enjoy or go out wildlife spotting, or for those who want to do something a bit more adventurous and get out and get their hands dirty in the environment. So as part of the whole resort, we offer a number of tours and activities, four-wheel drive tours being one of those, into and around the Flinders Ranges National Park, not just Wilpena Pound Resort. As I mentioned at the very start, we also offer the scenic flights in the region. So Air Wilpena, we do scenic flights from 20 minutes all the way through to overnight adventures out and around South Australia. So they can actually do a flight journey, stopping off at Lake Eyre and a few other places. So that's another thing that we offer. We have mountain bikes available. We also have just signed up, or we've just gotten the final approvals to run a 260-kilometre mountain biking adventure, with the start and finish being at the resort. So that will go around the entire Wilpena Pound, and that will be in November this year. So obviously hiking and walking is a major attraction to the region. There's a number of walks that are available for anyone to do, which they can get information at the visitor centre, but we've also just starting this year, next year, 15-16, we'll be starting guided walks. So we'll be able to take small groups at certain times of the year, and we'll be doing the same with the mountain biking as well. So the historical tours, again, they'll be kicking off. We've just finalised an itinerary with the local Aboriginal community, and they should be kicking off shortly. Start date not 100% certain on, because we're still waiting on the local guides to make sure that they're happy with everything and we're giving the right information. So they should be kicking off shortly, and I'll give everyone more of an update of those when they come on board. But they're very, very popular with travellers to get to know the local history of the area, dating back thousands of years. And obviously there's a few nice things to do, like the Sunset Spectacular, just sitting and watching the colours change over Wilpena Pound, with a glass of champagne in your hand and having some nice canapes. It's obviously always a very popular one. So that is a very brief overview of what the resort is and the new safari camp. Obviously there'll be some individual questions and that sort of thing, so I'll open that up to everyone there, and if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jason. A very thorough presentation. I learned a lot, definitely, about the new tents. So let's see. As far as questions we have, in general, what is the normal length of stay for travelers that you're seeing coming from North America or other?
Yep. So from North America, the average length of stay is about 3.2 nights. So that is the average length of stay. So they stay 3 nights generally, because of what there is to do in the region and the distance to cover to get there. So 2 nights allows you to come in and do a brief sort of look around the pound and maybe a scenic flight. 3 nights you'll be able to get in a full day tour, see the Wilpena Pound, see the outback, get a good feel for the region.
Perfect, great.
I guess one of the other things that we're noticing a lot of now is repeat visitation from people that have come before, especially from America and Europe. They've come and they come back because they didn't get to see enough of it the first time.
No, that doesn't surprise me at all because I've been, I guess, twice now to the region, and there's just so much to explore, and being able to have those couple of days to really see and do everything that you want to. This is not a region you want to rush through. I would definitely say that. I think can't get there soon enough, and certainly don't want to leave immediately. So every sunset and sunrise counts, I think, at least.
Absolutely.
And another question here, does Ikara supply torches?
Yes. So in each of the tents we have, obviously one of the things is our eco footprint at Ikara. So we don't have any batteries at Ikara. We have torches that are wind up. So they are kinetic torches that you wind up and they store kinetic energy for a period of time. There's not a lot of lighting at night. There is solar-powered lights that light all the pathways and that sort of thing. So torches are a part of our introductory, I suppose, welcome to Ikara, and we guide everyone to say into their tents and show them where the torches are and tell them to take them everywhere that they go, and all of that.
Perfect. Well, great. That seems to be it as far as the questions here, but if you have any others for Jason, please feel free to shoot them over to myself or to Jason directly. And I think, one more question popped in. Everyone's curious and saying congratulations. What is your new little girl's name?
My new little girl's name is Summer Grace Purton. So she was born at 12:45 p.m. She weighed 6 pounds 0, so she was very small, and she's a beautiful little girl.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you. Congratulations again. We appreciate you taking the time to lead us through your presentation, and we look forward to welcoming everyone and their clients to the Flinders Ranges soon. So thanks for joining us, and we'll speak soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.